So hello everyone, welcome to our channel Study Medicine with me, and today we're going to study about the gastrointestinal system that is present in our body. This is the anatomy portion, and we'll be studying it from the PDF. The PDF now which I'm reading is actually called Fast Track, and this is basically the note compilations in a printed form. And I'm going to study this along with this Grey's Anatomy for Student third editions third edition. So let's begin. So we'll be studying some basic thing from this from this PDF which I call Fast Track, and we'll be studying complex thing from the Grey's Anatomy. So let's begin. So gross anatomy. Okay, we will be opening up the gross anatomy of what region of the abdomen. So abdomen can be divided into 9 regions, and there is presence of right lateral plane, left lateral plane. These are basically the plane that is coming from the mid-clavicular line. So suppose this is clavicle. From mid of the clavicle, this line origins. So this is right. This is obviously left clavicle since it is present on the left side, and this here is present right clavicle. So it comes right from that particular point. Okay, so this is right lateral plane, and this is left lateral plane. Okay, this is the right hypochondrium. This is left hypochondrium, and this one is the epigastrium. Okay, epigastrium. It is okay, hypochondrium. So this so I just get confused a lot because this name is hypochondrium, but it's present above this okay, above chondrium. So how to relate this? So I guess chondrium means something called as chondria. So let's repeat, this is right hypochondrium, this is left hypochondrium, and we'll be also studying about the organs that falls in this category because it is very important to be asked as well. So this is right lumbar region, and this is left lumbar region. This is the right iliac fossa, and this left iliac fossa. This is umbilical region since there is been some umbilicus right here, and this is hypogastrium. This is epigastrium. This is hypogastrium. And so there's another thing that we need to know is this two lines, transpyloric plane and transtubercular plane. So we know that there is presence of pyloric sphincter in case of stomach. So just above that, just crossing that point, there is a line which is called as transpylogram. So transpyloric gets its name from that. And there is something called as transtubercular plane. Transtubercular plane gets its name from the tubercular processes. I think. Let's see. I think it has to do something with the pelvic bone. This tubercular process, I think. No. Let's see. So transtubercular plane, okay, it is present in the L5 region, and this is present in the L1 region. This is the important thing to understand. Okay, right and lateral and left lateral vertical planes passing to the mid clavicle and mid inguinal. We know this. Umbilicus, okay, normal scale anterior abdominal form of the remnant of root of umbilical cord. Normal scale in anterior abdominal form of the remnant root of umbilical. Okay, we know that this is a umbilicus is basically a remnant root of umbilical. Okay, variable in position, lower in infant and person. Okay, it is variable in position, which is generally lower in case of infants and person with a pendulous abdomen. It is a okay. Pendulous abdomen. What do you mean pendulous abdomen? So I'm going to search what is pendulous abdomen. Okay, pendulous abdomen. What is pendulous abdomen? I'm just pendulous, non-pendulous abdomen, pendulous. Okay. Consider what the abdominal relaxed anterior wall of the abdomen hangs over the pubis. Abdominally relaxed anterior. Okay. Anterior wall of the abdomen hangs over the pubis. Abdominally relaxed anterior wall of the abdomen hangs over. So basically, it gets a fat person, I guess. So pendulous, okay, okay, obviously. So anatomically important. Level of umbilicus is watershed. Okay, what is the anatomical level of umbilicus is watershed? Special. Okay, level of umbilicus is watershed. Okay, skin around it is separated by T10 segment of the spinal cord. Okay, so we have L1 transpyloric plane, L5 transtubercular plane, T10 segment of the spinal cord which supplies the umbilicus. Okay, side of the protocaval anastomosis. This is protocaval anastomosis forms capillary in hypertension. Okay, so there is some particular type of, okay, this is related to the blood supply of the liver or something like that. When there is a and deformity leading to the blockage to the liver. There is portocanal anastomosis around the suppose this is umbilicus. Around the umbilicus there is principal portocanal anastomosis. So since the blood cannot flow to the liver, they resurgate and comes to this caput medusa, the blood supply. Okay, this caput. So sorry, since the blood cannot enter to the liver, they will come. They will resurgate and come back to these arteries surrounding the umbilicus, giving the condition called as portal hypertension, caput medusa. Okay, embryological importance. Meeting point of the okay GI vital duct, excretory urachus, and umbilicus vessels. Okay, fourth embryonic bed. It is a meeting point of fourfold of embryonic bed. Vital intestinal duct, excretory urachus, vascular umbilicus vessel. Okay. Raspberry red tumors or cherry red tumors. Remnant of vital intestinal duct may be form a tumor at umbilicus. Raspberry red tumor or cherry tumor, remnant of vital intestinal duct may form a okay. Raspberry red tumors or cherry red tumors, remnant of vital. Okay, let's talk about the three items that are okay. It is meeting point of four folds of embryonic plate. Four folds of meeting point of four folds of embryonic plate is caput medusa. Aha. Okay, three systems. There is GI, vital, and intestinal duct. So, what are the systems? GI, vital, intestinal duct, excretory urachus, and vascular umbilicus vessels. Gastrointestinal, vital, GI, vital, intestinal duct, excretory urachus. Urachus is related to excretory organ. Okay, urachus is related to excretory and vascular umbilical vessels. So, GI, okay, GI, excretory, and vascular region. It is a meeting point of GI. GI. So this is fourfold of embryo, but embryonic plate, but we are not. These are three systems. Okay, meeting point of four floors and three systems. So, in three systems includes gastrointestinal systems, okay, excretory system and vascular system. Gastrointestinal, excretory system, and vascular systems. In gastrointestinal system, there is a meeting point of vital intestinal duct. And intestinal duct, I don't know what it is. So let's talk. So in case of excretory organ, this meeting point of urachus. In this vascular, this is meeting point of umbilicus vessels. So applied aspects. Let's talk about the applied aspects. Respiratory tumors or cherry tumors. They are not vital. Okay. There's something called respiratory tumors. So I need to see how the how the raspberry red tumors seems like. So I'm going to raspberry red tumors. Okay, raspberry red tumors. So I'm going to search it, raspberry red tumor. Okay. Okay, this is raspberry, I guess, but what is raspberry red tumors? Let's see the images of the raspberry red tumors. So we're not getting it right here. Raspberry red tumors. Oh, it goes in the head. I thought it would occur in tumor at umbilicus. May form tumor at umbilicus. Okay. So raspberry red tumor. These are tumors occurs in umbilicus. So I think this one is the figure, I guess. Okay, these are the figures. Raspberry tumors. Vital intestinal. So we important note the vital intestinal duct. Vital intestinal duct. It's important, very important to note that vital intestinal duct. Let me form a tumor at umbilicus. Okay, there's something called fecal fistula. Persistence of patent vital intestinal duct. Uterine fistula. Persistence of entire urachus. Okay, fecal fistula. Okay, patent vital intestinal duct. Persistence of patent vital intestinal duct. There is presence of fecal fistula. Urinary fistula occurs or urachal fistula occurs persistence. Okay, in case there is persistence of entire urachus. So what does this persistence means? Okay, these all the structures would be, I think, faded with the course of time. But if it remains, then there would be a condition. There would be a conditions, and this condition. So if the urachus remains, there is a condition called as a urinary fistula or urachus fistula, as there is persistence of urachus. So urachal cyst persistence of some part of urachus. Okay, urachus. Ompacillon or like the umbilical, okay, or something like umbilical hernia. So I don't know if it's through the last umbilical ring. Okay, gastro. Okay, what is omphacillae? Omphacillae or exomphalus or exomphalus. Herniation of abdominal viscera through the inlast umbilical ring. Herniation of abdominal viscera through the inlast umbilical ring. Okay, viscera are commonly amnion, covered by amnion. Okay, the viscera are basically due to the failure of bowel to return to the body cavity from its physiological herniation during the 6th to 10th week. So there is physiological herniation in case of 6th to 10th week. So with the course of time, this 6th to 10 this bowels should revert back to the body in the case of 6 to 10th week. In case of 6 to 10th week, but if it fails, then there is condition called omphalocele or exomphalus or omphalocele exomphalus. So okay, so gastrochisis. So what is this? Gastrochisis, protrusion of abdominal content to the body wall. Protrusion of abdominal content to the body wall directly into the amniotic cavity. To the body wall directly into the amniotic cavity. Okay, so amniotic cavity is basically, this is, suppose this is embryo. So amniotic cavity is cavity which is around the embryo, and there is appearance of amniotic fluid right there. If this protrusion of abdominal viscera from from this embryo to the amniotic fluid right here, okay, right here, then the condition is called gastroarthritis. Occurs lateral to the umbilicus, okay, occurs lateral to the umbilicus. So this mainly occurs lateral to the umbilicus, usually on the right, due to the abdominal cause of the body wall on the condition. Okay, viscera are not covered by the peritoneum or amnion. Okay, so we're talking about the omphaceton or not actually the chromosome abnormality. Okay. So these are the what other thing that we studied in applies, right? We studied respiratory tumors. Okay, vital intestinal lock. We need to remember vital intestinal lock in this case. Okay, then we studied our fecal fistula, which is present due to the patent vital intestinal duct. Fecal fistula. Okay, there's something called urinary fistula, which is present due to the patent urachus. No, persistence of some part of urachus. Then we studied about the omphacellae. So omphacellae is basically herniation of abdominal viscera through the, so omphacellae or also known as exomphalus, which is a herniation of a viscera to the enlarged umbilical ring. Okay, in this case viscera are actually covered by the amniotic fluid around it. Okay, amniotic fluid around it due to the failure of the ball to return to the body cavity from physiological herniation during the 6th to 10th week. So let's talk about the gastroarthritis. Protrusion of abdominal content to the body wall directly into the amniotic cavity is called gastroarthritis. Occurs lateral to the umbilicus, which is on the right side. Due to the abdominal closure of the body wall around the content, viscera are not covered. Okay, gastroarthritis again. Abdominal content to the body wall directly to the umbilical. So don't you think omphacellae and this gastroarthritis are basically the same thing? Viscera through the enlarged umbilicus. So okay. So this is okay. Omphacellae occurs due to the physiological herniation. There is always a, so at the point of time there is always a physiological herniation. So we need to know the physiological herniation in case of omphacellae. So there is a physiological herniation in 6th to 5th week of embryological development. But if it fails to return back to the body of the embryo, then there is condition called omphacellae. But gastroarthritis is a condition if there is protrusion of a abdominal content to the body, okay, directly into the umbilical without the physiological herniation. So omphacellae and gastrochisis. Yeah, omphacellae and gastrochisis, basically the same thing. So it is also known as umbilical hernia. Okay, physiological herniation we need to remember in this case, umbilical herniation. So let's study about the oral cavity. We already studied about this. So there are many things. So we're going to search our transtubercular plain in Google. Okay, this is the figures and we know the figure, but we need to know what it is. Where does it pass from? Okay, pubic. Okay, obviously I was talking about the pubic symphysis. This is termed as the intertubercular plane. The lower transverse midway between the upper transverse. Okay, transverse is practically plenum inter. Okay, whatever it is. Transpyloric plane. Transpyloric plane is also known as additions planes or imagine horizontal plane. Transtubercular plane. Okay. So tubercle of the pubic bone. We'll searching out tubercle of pubic bone. where's the tubercle of the pubic tubercle? Okay, point horror and positive. Okay, now we'll be searching out the pubic tubercle. Where is pubic tubercle? Come on, pubic tubercle, where are you? Okay, let's see in this figure if we could. Okay, pubic tubercle is okay. This one is a pubic tubercle. So if there is a line passing through this pubic tubercle, it is called transtubercular plane. Okay, you getting it? So let's see in this figure where is tubercle. It must be right here. Still tubercle. What is pubic tubercle? Transtubercular plane. Tubercle. It is also called tubercle of Chris. What the hell? I think when the line passes from the tubercle. Okay, sorry. Okay, we're going to go this in. Okay, this figure just shows it. So this is not a, so this is a tubercle of what? Ileum, ischium and pubis. This is ischium, this is ileum, and this is pubis. So this is tubercle of a ileum. So if line passes on the tubercle of the ileum, it is called as transtubercular plane. Okay, you getting it? That's all. That's very easy to understand. There's nothing new in it. So we always talk about the region of the abdomen, which is very important topic. Let's talk about the oral cavity and we'll okay dental formula. No, we'll just remember the dental formula in case of children. So it is 2102. So what is 0? What is absent in case of children? Obviously it is molar, I guess. This is 2 and this is 3. Diphodont. In mantis it is only once to call us diphyodont. Okay, diphyodont, new term. It is the number of teeth in each half of the jaw. Okay, incisor, canine, premolar, and molar. Okay, let's see. In milk there's incisor, canine, there's no premolar. Okay, premolar. So it is a little bit confusion because it says premolar but it doesn't come earlier. It is basically the name is given basically to the position of a molar. So molar is basically present backward to the premolar, I guess, and 2 molars. Okay, there's 20. So there's 2 incisor in milk. There's 2 incisor and 1 canine. In 1/4 part of the oral cavity, the experience of a 2 incisors. Okay, 1 canine. Getting it? Yes. 2 molars. Okay, no premolars. But in case of either oral, there is 2 incisor, 1 canine, 2 premolars, and 3 molars. So that in case of adult there is 32 teeth, and in case of children there is 20 teeth. That's all. Nothing new in it. Nothing. Okay, pulp, dentine, enamel. Okay, enamel is the hardest sometimes. We need to know this. Cementum. Okay, we don't need to study this. Scurvy. Okay, scurvy, there is swelling of a gum. We know that, especially scurvy was seen in case of the. So scurvy was seen in case of the pirates. Pirates usually had scurvy condition called scurvy due to the deficiency of vitamin C in that particular areas of the ship. It's a Pyorrhea alveolaris. What does so the name gives the definition of the disease. So alveolaris means alveoli. Alveoli is basically the place where the teeth remains, and pyorrhea means the divisions of pus. So chronic pus disease at the margin of the gums. Basically that. Yes, dental caries, decalcification of enamel and dentine, apical abscess, the infection of apex of the root creating the abscess. Ortingtonsis. Okay, it is seen in case of congenital severs. Natural teeth in glass with the tetracycline, discolored teeth. Okay. Varicose deficiency in enamel. Okay, development enamel ectoderm. Okay, enamel is from the ectoderm, dentine is from the cementum is from the periodontal membrane. Okay, now okay, hard palate. Development of a hard palate. Hard palate. So we have palate, and palate can be divided into hard palate and soft palate. Soft palate is, I think it is present posterior to the hard palate, I guess. Okay, so development is given right here. So nasal, this is something called nasal port remains marching at the deeper level. Marching at the deeper level forms intermaxillary segments. So it forms intermaxillary segments, which forms primary palate. Two shape like goes from the maxillary foramen is called palate and shapes. Which comes from the secondary plate. Primary plate, incisive foramen. Okay, incisive foramen, secondary palate. heart palate. Okay, this is the figure of heart palate. This means a primary palate right here. This is incisive foramen, okay, and this is secondary palate. Secondary palate, incisive foramen, okay. Okay, well, do we need to know this? Enter 2/3 found by the pattern process of maxilla, and its posterior 1/3 is for maxilla's palate and process, okay. Pattern 1, anterior. So arteries, get a pattern of maxillary artery, get a pattern branch of maxillary artery. This is because of maxillary artery and it gets a branch of pterygoid plexus of the veins. Pterygoid plexus of the vein. Don't supply get a pattern and so pterygoid plexus ganglion. Okay, soft palate. So to meet this, so we need to remember this something called as nasal prominence, margining at the deeper level forms the intermaxillary segment. Intermaxillary segment. Okay, this is nasal prominence margining at the deeper level. They form the intermaxillary segments. Okay, which forms the primary palate. Two shelf-like outward from the maxillary prominence called pattern shelves. Two shelf-like growth from the maxillary prominence. So I'm back, guys. So epithelium, anterior tooth. So epithelium of the tongue can be divided into two parts. Anterior tooth third and posterior tooth third. So anterior tooth third is actually from the lingual swellings. Lingual swellings. Lingual basically means the tongue. So there is something called lingual swelling during the development. Okay, and tubercle impaired, which arises from the first bracket. So there is something called first brachial plexus. It gives the two swellings, what's something like lingual swellings, and tuberculum impar, and anterior. So the epithelium of this particular, and this gives rise to the anterior two third of the anterior two third. Okay, you getting it? So it is supplied to the lingual and chorda tympani. Okay, so it is supplied with the lingual and chorda tympani, lingual knob and chorda tympani. So posterior two third is from the hypobranchial eminence. Posterior two third is from the hypobrachial eminence. Hypo means below, brachial eminence. Hypobrachial eminence. Okay, hypobrachial eminence from the third brachial arch. From the third brachial arch. So third brachial arch. So this important thing to remember is hypobrachial eminence and third brachial arch. So it is supplied with the glossopharyngeal nerve. Therefore, it is supplied with the glossopharyngeal nerve. Now, glossopharyngeal nerve, in case of, it is one of the cranial nerve, and which cranial nerve you will be okay. Which cranial nerve you will be asked? Which cranial nerve? It is. I think it is. No, I know it is ninth cranial nerve. So it is supplied with the hypobrachial eminence from the. So it has to do something. We're going to go through the development in detail. Can we go to the development in detail? No, I don't think we could go to the development in detail right now. You know. So we already started the development of illicit knob supply. Okay, let's revise the development of illicit knob supply. So tongue development can be divided into three parts: the muscles, the connective tissue, and the epithelium. So muscle is actually derived from the occipital myotomes, and the occipital myotomes. Muscle is derived from the occipital myotomes, and then there's something called as connective tissue, which is actually derived from the local mesenchyma, and then comes the important part, that is epithelium. So we need to go to the epithelium in detail. So let's go to some part. So epithelium could be divided into two parts. So anterior two third part and posterior one third part. So anterior two third comes from the first brachial arch, I guess. First brachial arch, the experience of a lingual swelling, and tuberculum impar. Therefore, it is supplied by what? Therefore, it is supplied by lingual nerve, and what? This one, chorda tympani, I guess. Chorda tympani. Okay, yeah, I guess it is. We'll be seeing this. So in posterior one third is actually derived from the third. Posterior one third is derived from the third brachial arch. Okay, third brachial arch, and from the hypobrachial eminence. Hypobrachial eminence. So it is from the hypobrachial eminence. Okay. So it is from the hyperbrachial eminence. So third brachial arch from the hyperbrachial eminence. Therefore, it is hyperbrachial eminence. Hyper means okay. Uh, so it is supplied by the ninth cranial nerve. That is hypoglossal nerve, I guess. Yup. No, sorry, glossopharyngeal. Glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve. It's supplied the glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay. So what's the mistake that we made? Okay. Lingual swelling and tubercle empire, we made it correct. Lingual and correct empire, yes, we made it correct as well. Hyperbrachial eminence, this is very important, so we are starting. So ankylosing, tongue tie. This okay, tongue tie. This tying of a tongue where macroglossia, macro meaning small, micro means okay, macro means larger, and micro means smaller. Okay, let's talk about the gloss features. Okay, there's various muscles, I guess. Intrinsic organs on the tongue, in this one, changing the shape of the tongue. Okay. Palatoglossus, hyoglossus, higher one. It has to do something with the higher one, I guess. Yes, I'm seeing it here. Styloglossus, styloid process of something. Deep and part of the anterior surface into the tongue. Okay. Geneoglossus, genome of okay. Upper genial tubercle of mandible. This is something called genial tubercle of mandible. So we're going to okay, palatoglossus. So there are four muscles: palatoglossus, hyoglossus, styloglossus, and geneoglossus. So we're going to go through again: palatoglossus, hyoglossus, styloglossus, and geneoglossus. I wish I could read this from this book. I'm going to study tongue from this. Tongue from ABCG, PQRST. Right, again, I'm going to pick, okay, we're up to the end. Now we're going to P, Q, okay, P, Q, R, okay, R, yes. Now I need to go to the T. Yep. So we're going to T meaning tongue. Come on, tongue, where are you? T-O-U-N-G-E. Triceps. Okay. It is not tongue. Okay, there is tongue, yes. It is present in the inferior surface innervation, facial nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve. We know that about that. Hypoglossal nerve. Okay. Nuchal in lingual nerve. Yes. Lymphatic muscles. We are studying about the muscles. Intrinsic muscles, extensive muscles, papillary surface veins. Okay. Muscles. 1096 to 1099. 1096. 1096. Nope. We're coming there. So we'll be revising till we go to 1096 page number. So there are four muscles: genioglossus, styloglossus, pharyngoglossus, and yeah. Okay, mandible. Wow, I need to start this. Okay, there are the muscles. And we're starting our tongue. Okay, papillae. We'll be studying about the papillae in later. Okay, it's not that important, but what is important in this case is the nerve supply in response to the development and the muscles. Okay, intrinsic muscles and this. Okay, is there intrinsic and extrinsic muscle of the tongue? Well, we need to go through this. Okay, let's see extrinsic muscle of tongue. Okay, what is the intrinsic muscle of the tongue? Superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, transverse, and vertical. Okay, superior longitudinal. So tongue muscle can be divided into superior longitudinal, intrinsic and extrinsic muscles and intrinsic muscles. So let's go to the figure. I was searching for it for the figure, you know. Pataglossus, styloglossus, hypoglossus, genioglossus. Okay, root of the tongue. This is root of the tongue. Okay, inferior surface of the tongue. Obviously, mandible. Oh yeah, it is mandible. Genio higher muscle. Okay, genome to higher. Genome is actually present in the mandible. So genome higher muscles of the tongue. So we are not able to see any muscles right here. Extrinsic and extrinsic muscles. No. Palatoglossus. Okay. Styloglossus towards the lateral side. Hyoglossus, okay, towards the lower lateral side. Genioglossus to the lower middle side. Well, okay, there's intrinsic muscle as well. Superior, okay, this figure I'm going to go through this. So we were starting out the tongue, and especially the muscles of tongue, and we'll be screen clipping it. Yeah, perfect. So here we have all the muscles. Pataglossus muscles, styloglossus muscles, hyoglossus muscles, and genioglossus muscles. Superior longitudinal, vertical, transverse, and inferior longitudinal. Superior longitudinal and inferior longitudinal. Longitudinal meaning going to this side to this side. Inferior longitudinal, vertical and transverse. Vertical and transverse. Superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, vertical and transverse. And this means pataglossus muscles, styloglossus, pataglossus muscles, styloglossus muscles, hyoglossus muscles, and genioglossus muscles. Okay, these were the extrinsic and intrinsic muscles. So that was what I needed. I don't need to know this. Palatoglossus, it is in the upper part of the tongue, so it pulls up the root of the tongue. Approximately the longicular and thus close the oropharyngeal isthmus or pharyngeal isthmus. Hyoglossus muscles. So where is the position of hyoglossus? Hyoglossus is I think it is present in the lateral part, lower lateral part, I guess. Yep, lower lateral part hyoglossus. Styloglossus is present. Okay. So we're about to saw something as well. So the thing that we are going to Google is so I'm going to go for a lunch and I'll be back in 25 minutes. So I'm back. So guys, I'm back. So let's study. So we'll be studying now the arterial supply, nerve supply, and lymphatic drainage of the tongue. So we already knew the muscles of the tongue. We don't need to know the function of the tongue. Okay. However, let's see the muscle in a brief as again. So this palatoglossus muscles from palatine process of what? Suppose a pattern aponeurosis, or also okay pattern aponeurosis to the to the tongue and final part. Okay, then higher from higher bone style from styloid process of what? Of the anterosurface stylus. Okay, then it's been genioglossus muscles, genial tubercle, genial. So genial tubercle. So we'll be searching our genial tubercle of the. So we'll be searching our genial tubercle of the mandible, and then the stylus process, and genial tubercle, stylus process, and genial tubercle. Styled process. So what even a styled process? Styled process. Styled process. So what is styled? Okay, this one is okay. Styled process. From here the muscle comes. I think it will go inward and attach to the glossus. So styled process. So styloglossus muscle. Okay, from that particular process it will come. So next thing we're about to show was genioglossus, genium tubercle, genium. Let's first see the meaning of genium. What is genium? Okay, not about the brand. Not a brand. Hypothesis. No, I don't need that. Genium. Okay, genium tubercle. Tubercle. So it is present in the inwardly. It is present in this region. Yeah, this region is genium tubercle. Okay, let's see this in so. So right here is the genial tubercle. From that particular point, the muscle will come. So it's called genial tubercle muscles. So there was another higher styloid process. We already knew the styloid process. We knew about the pharyngoglossus. It comes from the pharynx. So that was all. So let's see it again. So palatoglossus, styloglossus from the styloid process. Okay. Higher glossus from the higher bone. Okay. Genioglossus, genium. Okay. Genioglossus. I have now an idea where the muscle comes from. So this is superior, inferior, vertical and horizontal. Vertical and horizontal. Yes. That was all about the muscle of the tongue. That was all over the muscle of the tongue. Now let's move on to the more things. So arterial supply, it is supplied with lingual artery, which is a branch of what? Carotid artery, external carotid artery. Tonsillar branch of facial artery as well. Okay, lingual branch of external carotid artery, tonsillar branch of facial artery, and ascending pharyngeal branch of external carotid artery. External carotid artery. So there are two branches. So this external carotid artery has a special branch for the tongue. This is called lingual branch. Obviously, then even the facial artery also supplies to the tongue, and it is by the tonsillar branch of facial artery. And it is not that important. And ascending pharyngeal. So let's see. I think let's see if we have any figure about that. Blood supply. Yes, this is lingual artery, which is part of external carotid artery. Okay, external carotid artery. This is hypoglossal nerve. No, so this is okay. Hypoglossal muscles. Okay, there is arteries and nerves of the tongue. So this is a common carotid artery, and here it branches to give out the external carotid artery and internal carotid artery, and here external carotid artery. Okay, I don't need that. So what is this? This is lingual artery, which is a branch of common carotid artery. Okay, this must be external carotid artery, which is present internally, and it gives the lingual branch. Lingual branch, and it is supplying to the tongue. So vein supply is where? So I'm going to take this. So we'll arterial supply of the tongue. Let's see blood supply of the tongue. Okay, now we're going to go through the we're going to do the screen clipping. So here we do the screen clipping. Okay, so this figure not only shows the blood supply, it also shows the nerve supplies. Okay, blood supply of the tongue. Just spinning this tongue. Okay, blood supply of the tongue. We can see the. We could see here. This is the external carotid artery. External carotid artery. External carotid artery. It is giving one of lingual branch. It is giving the lingual branch and it is supplying the tongue. Going so there is also some like deep dorsal lingual. What the hell? Lingual artery. Yes. So let's talk about the venous supply of the blood. Venous supply. Lingual vein, interjugular vein. So venous supply is the lingual vein, which goes to the interjugular vein. Lingual vein. So this is lingual. I think this is called lingual vein. For this dorsal lingual vein, okay, deep lingual vein and dorsal lingual vein. Basically, the lingual vein, which ultimately goes to the interjugular vein. Interjugular vein. Okay, this is common carotid artery. This is external carotid artery, and this is internal carotid artery. Internal carotid artery. I just forgot where does this that thing divide. C2 vertebra. Internal carotid artery. Sorry, this is a mistake. Carotid artery. Okay, we got it. Internal carotid artery. So this is internal carotid artery. So lymphatic drainage is actually very important. Lymphatic drainage is very important. So let's see the lymphatic. Okay. So okay, this from submental lymph node. Okay, submental lymph node from top posterior from anteriormost part of the tongue. Anteriormost tip part of the tongue is gives a submental lymph node. The middle part of the middle part of the tongue gives to the submandibular lymph node. Okay, and the posterior part gives to the deep cervical lymph node. Posterior part gives okay, tip of the tongue bilateral to the submental lymph node. Obviously, right and left half of the remaining part of the anterior two-thirds of the tongue, submandibular lymph node. Posterior one-third of the tongue bilateral to jugulo-omohyoid nodes. Bilateral. Okay, posterior one-third of the tongue is bilateral jugulo-omohyoid nodes and bilateral cervical lymph node. Okay, not that difficult. It is not that difficult. It's simple to understand. Let's see if there's anything given in right here. No, there's nothing given right here. Nope, nothing is given right here. Nothing is given right here. So I guess this figure is it. So lymphatic drainage. So submental lymph node very important. Anterior submental lymph node and posterior and anterior. So anterior part of the gives to the submental lymph node. Submental lymph node is actually present around the mental. There's mental. We know that there is a mental foramen in mandibular. So around that area there is presence of a lymph node which is known as submental lymph node. And then remaining anterior two-third part of the gives bilaterally to the submandibular lymph node. and posterior one third gives to the cervical lymph node or jugulo-omohyoid node, cervical lymph node, and posterior most part gives to the deep cervical lymph node, Okay, jugulo-omohyoid node, important node, important node. So let's type to the submental lymph node anterior one third one until remaining anterior one third the submandibular submandibular lymph node, and then posterior rear two-third posterior one third to the omohyoid. Posteriormost part to the posteriormost part to the deep cervical lymph. Okay, deep cervical lymph node. So these were all the important things. And while omohyoid lymph node, omohyoid, jugulo-omohyoid, not just omohyoid, it's jugulo-omohyoid lymph node, jugulo-omohyoid lymph node, posterior most part of the. Okay, that's all.